We're still coasting and moving, checking the time, and that's also what loads and loads of people are also checking in the United States. I did say, well, the entire team is here covering this, but we have to go back to Wisconsin, and when we come back, I'll be speaking with one of our correspondents and see how this has been looked at here in Nigeria and the preparations to bring you all of those happenings in the United States. Sean, back to you now.
Thank you, Sulaiman. We've been talking to an American, well, a Nigerian American. He's been living in Wisconsin for a long time. Just before we went on that, I see that you voted.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so this is the kind of tag that you will see. After you voted, this shows that they give you this tag. You can stick it on this way. I can't stick it because I cannot vote here in the U.S. So I'm going to just give you back your
Thank you very much.
sticker. But again, we were talking about the kind of conversation that we saw. Were you afraid? Because Mr. Trump has said that he was going to deport millions of non-Native Americans. What do you make of that kind of statement during the campaign period?
You see, in my own opinion, I think when Mr. Trump came onto the scene from the primaries, I don't really think the man actually wanted to be president.
Really?
Yeah, he's a reality TV man. Because nobody is seeking the highest office in the United States and will say words like that.
I was going to deport people. Mexico is going to take
the rapists, the murderers. I don't think even if you feel that way inside of you, politicians will never say that out.
A lot of people have also thought that, look, both of them are not really the best. Some people have said the narrative here is we're voting against someone, not really voting for people. Yeah. Do you see that kind of thing playing out?
Oh, yeah, I hear a lot of people saying that they don't really have a preference between both of them. But one person has to be president. So whether you're voting against somebody or you're voting for somebody, one of them has to emerge president. But you see, the problem in this cycle is that Mr. Trump has whipped up so much sentiment, hate, divisiveness. That's now the America.
Don't you think that Madam Clinton also has done the same?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I've been here close to 30 years. This is the first time I am experiencing a campaign that is so divisive.
It looks so much you voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe because that's the reason why you're speaking in favor of Hillary Clinton.
Not necessarily. Because when you say you want to just go out when you become a president, and you just go out and round up 12 million human beings.
So you
is
really
that possible?
You voted because of the issues?
Yes.
Are you a Republican?
No, I'm not. I'm independent.
You're independent?
Yes.
So all through the ballot, all the names on the ballot today?
We had about 9 people or so, 7 or 9 people on the ballot. I voted 7 for Republicans because I like them.
And 2 for
the Democrats, yes.
So in the end, just we wrap up this conversation so that we can return to Lagos.
Yes.
In the end, a lot of people think that America is at a precipice because of some of the ethnic sentiment and some of the hate speeches that we've seen in the past few weeks in the country. It's been 1 year of hellish campaign and conversation that we've seen.
The virtues in Americans is that when we have issues like this, Americans move on. Americans love America.
You don't think that there will be some healing process that needs to take place?
Of course, there will be a healing process. Nobody wants to lose.
Do you think Hillary Clinton can ever work with Donald Trump after or Donald Trump working with Hillary Clinton, whichever way it goes?
They are family friends.
Oh.
They are very, very close. Chelsea and Ivanka, they are best of friends. I'm talking about Hillary's daughter and Trump's daughter. I mean, Hillary was at the last wedding that Trump had. They are very, very close. There was a tape that I was watching about 7 years ago when Trump was saying this lofty things about Hillary and Bill. Politicians are the same.
But a lot of people will say Donald Trump is an outsider, he's not a politician.
No, he is more than a politician.
He's a funder.
He has never run, but he knows the game. He knows the terrain.
Yeah. Just as we close down, one lesson you think Nigeria can learn from the American electoral process?
Civility. 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 There must be no bitterness about politics.
People will say this is the mother of democracy.
I'm telling you, this is the grandmother of democracy.
But we've seen a lot of the opposite of what we're talking about, civility. We've seen a lot of the opposite here in America in the last few weeks.
No, I don't think so. You're talking about people
campaigns that have been, people have been wounded in campaigns.
Do you want to compare that with what happens in Lagos?
Civility is the word, isn't it?
Civility.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fola, for talking to us. Well, Sulaiman, you can get a sense of a Nigerian who has been here, who is, well, an American in this sense also. He's voted, but I cannot vote. But then that's how the feelings are. Americans are passionate about their democracy, and a lot of people have said they will move on after this, no matter who wins this exercise. It's back to you in Lagos now.
Many things, Joe. I'm wondering, asking myself the new definition of civility, going by what we've heard and seen with the two leading candidates. Well, a good thing here, exciting moment, Joe. But before we let you go, if you were to pick up one thing that stood out for you in this election, what would that be?
Very well, Sulaiman, and that will be the fact that we do not need to make our elections clumsy in Nigeria. They've spread out this election over the last few weeks or so, early voting in about 30-something states in the United States, which makes it easier. So people are just going to work. We should not be shutting down our economy because we're going to vote for a few people in public offices. That's one lesson I think Nigerian public officers, legislators need to sit down and think carefully about. We pay too much attention into ceremonious about our electoral process. We need to look at the essence of our election and look at what exactly do we need. Do we need to shut down the economy because we want to vote? Well, our democracy is very important, but then again, we need to count the cost. Sulaiman.
Well, good to speak with you, and we'll get back to you, Show. Many thanks. And joining me now is Amarachi Ubani. She heads the international desk here on Channel Television, and I know this is your day, and I've been saying it. Hey, Amarachi, this is your day. You have witnessed United States, an election in the U.S. What year was that? 2008?
2008 and 2012, actually. And I remember back then in 2008, I was just talking to my colleague on the desk, Temitope Fagbemi, and I was saying that, this election doesn't have as much excitement as it did in 2008, because then it was America's first African-American president. There was a lot of excitement, there was a lot of enthusiasm. You saw, even at the polls, people, Barack Obama held up a lot of hope and a lot of enthusiasm in the hearts of a lot of people, and that spurred people to go out, to vote. And even on election night, people hung around. And when the results were eventually announced, I think the whole of Chicago just erupted in celebrations, and the whole place was just alive. And I'm not seeing the same enthusiasm and excitement that I saw in 2008 and probably maybe in 2012. It wasn't so much, but it was just a little less. But
I was trying to ask, or rather, I asked Chika Modi some semblance of this election, and I guess that's what Sean was trying to ask Fola a while ago, and it has to do with the dirty language, dirty talk, and so many of the nasty things that we got to see in this election. And sometimes if you put that on the scale and you put that side by side with what you've seen back home in Nigeria, when you close your eyes for a moment, it sounds as if you're home.
Does it? Does it? No. Our own elections I would say our own elections are a bit cleaner. Considering how these elections have gone, Donald Trump has insulted everybody. He has used words that, I can't even repeat on air.
I think we'll come back and expatiate more on that. Perhaps for some, they say maybe because our politicians, they run away from debates and they hardly do talking, and, they do more of dancing than talking. Perhaps it's something that we should talk more on after now.